Welcome. So for tonight, this is Brian Anderson, and I'm bringing on, in my opinion, one of my favorite calls. I've only done this call one other time, and I have Rob Bailey, who is an every guy. He's the nicest guy you're ever going to meet. He is a successful agency owner. He's out on the West Coast. I met him through Mario Brown, and we've been friends on and off for a while, and he's been involved in voice drops. He's done some automotive. But one thing that really stood out to me is Rob's just such a nice guy. I mean, him and I went out and grabbed a hamburger with Mario one night at like 10 p.m. out on the West Coast. And I listened to his story about his kids and his wife and just, the ups and downs of his business. And I said, wow, what an amazing story. And I did a call. Rob, you remember, I did a call for some of our VIPs, and they went nuts, man. If I remember, dude, they were begging you to kind of systemize what you taught on that call that day. A lot of them were, about 15 or 20 of them.
Yeah, that's right. And I haven't had a quiet inbox since. So
yeah, I have little doubt. Well, you guys, I want to introduce Rob, and I'm going to be quiet and let him talk. But first, as a caveat, I want to tell you that Rob Bailey is not a guru product seller. I asked him to make an offer because I promise you that when you see what Rob's doing, this isn't something that everybody else is doing. This is something that Rob's doing. And he's killing it on the fulfillment side with this in a lead model. When you see what he's doing, you're going to feel the same way. You will get so much value out of this call. You're going to love it. But you're going to be like me and everybody else. When you're done listening to Rob, and don't expect like Rob, unless you spruced it up, you're just shooting from the hip, right? This is just a straight case study. This is not like a sales pitch, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I own an agency. I've got 2 small kids at home, so I'm plenty busy. I don't have a professional polished pitch deck. I don't have a bonus stack. I bought plenty of trainings in my time, so I know what all that stuff is, but I don't have like a sales pitch. I'm going to show you the system that I've been working for the past 22 months full time. And then at the end, if you feel like there's value, I am going to make an offer because Brian asked me to do that, and to get access to a training showing you the detail of how to execute that on your own. But there's no I think in one training I saw you said there's no NLP slides, there's no script.
Yeah, there's nothing.
No,
you guys, this is just pure content, pure case study, honestly pure awesome. And I'm a little under the weather. I'm fighting off a cold somehow from last week. Rob, if you don't mind, I just made you presenter. Can you kind of run this show, and then I'll jump in near the end, but I'm just going to have a glass of water, and I've got a tea with honey, and I'm just going to sit here and listen myself.
Yeah, just let me know. I mean, if you have questions or anything, or you see a good question in the chat, just let me know.
Okay, no, I will. No, thanks, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it right now.
Okay, good. All right. So here's the deal, guys. I think this was in July, if I'm not mistaken, Brian. We did a call for just Brian's inner circle members, and this was the case study slide that I used. So I just went back to that and drew a big X in it because that number is much higher now. And although the time period is longer, it's still impressive, and I want to get so what I'm basically planning on doing is catching you up between what's happened in the last few months, showing you the system, showing you why I think it's better and it's different than what the stance most people take. So you're going to get a different take on how to run an agency, period. I don't really care if you do what I do, but at the end of the day, I think it's smart for you to do the things that I have done in the past 22 months to give your business more leverage and to make it more, duplicatable and repeatable. So you're going to walk away with that. And I'm also going to show you exactly what it is step by step. I'm going to show you the Facebook ad campaign that we have been running for local businesses in the health and fitness niche. I'm going to show you the 2-step landing page. I'm going to show you how we report to our clients, the results that it got, what it meant to their bottom line, how it's affected my bottom line, how much better it's been. I'll show you here in a minute, but my story, I almost gave up a couple of years ago. I closed my SEO agency. So a lot of you guys know that story, I think, at this point. But I'll revisit that real quickly, and then I'll take some questions and answer. I'll show you what we got at the end, and we'll answer questions. So that's what you can expect. Again, I am not a guru. This is the but I do like to lead with results. That's honestly what I've grown the back of my agency on. So this is the screenshot that was in the previous case study that we did in the summertime. And now it's obviously almost Thanksgiving, but those numbers are outdated. So I'm going to show you an updated version of that. And this was the I don't know if you can see that number down here, but this is like 401,000 and change. So that's where I got that 493 number from. And so now I just went ahead and updated those slides real quick so you guys can check this out. And I honestly, the reason why I want to show this to you is because I hate it. I hate it when people, start teaching a system that they either don't work, like they never worked, or they don't work currently, because how in the heck are you guys supposed to know whether this crap works or not if they're not working the real business? I mean, I get it that if you showed proficiency and then stopped, that's cool, right? But I'm showing you guys like this stuff is real time for us. Like, we're working the business, we got dozens of clients, we do really well for our tiny little agency. I have no employees, so I want to lead with that just to get you guys to check this out. I'm going to log into my Stripe account in a second live so you can see. I have some screenshots here, but the most powerful thing I can do is just to show you how it's affected me in such a positive way in my family's life and my life. And so that number's up to 609,000 and change over the last 22 months. Okay, so here's one of the payment systems I have for some of our bigger clients. They want to have a invoice and receipt and a little bit of a fancier reporting as far as the billing and collections go. And so this one is now up to 491,450, which is this number down here. Again, I don't know if that's super legible or not. And then my Stripe account is up to 117 and change. And that covers 22 months. Okay, so that might sound high to you, that might sound low to you, but the difference is that, I'm taking home much, much more than I ever have. And I'm going to explain to you how that happened and why that's important here in a minute. But why don't I just go ahead and I'm going to log in to Stripe. Just one second. And the reason why I'm showing this to you guys, by the way, is just because the last time that we did this was by far the most compelling thing that I was able to do, was just to show you guys a bunch of stuff live, because live means it's real. It's not like, I don't have a single slide deck that's over 10 slides, I don't think. I'm a live guy. I like working with people one-to-one. I'm just a real dude. So here's the total volume, and I just started this account I want to say in May or something of 2015. So it's not even that current, but that's when I decided to put a lot of our clients on auto bill and monthly recurring payments and really get smart about how I build them. So we've got a bunch of clients. Like, we got some big clients, like this one was a big one that was 13,500, but most of them look like this, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month. The average is about between $1,000 and $1,500 a month per client per location. So, but just to show you guys, this is real stuff. Like, I just logged in. I'll just leave you guys with that. It's not to brag or anything. It's just to show you that I'm doing this stuff. Okay, so really quickly, I want to move fast here at the beginning because I don't want to bore you guys to death with a bunch of bullshit, to be honest. But I cannot explain to you how powerful this opportunity is. And I'm just a guy, I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut in San Diego, California, But this guy, I don't know if you guys know who this is. This guy is doing some massive, massive, massive things in the business world as it pertains to new media and social media. Gary Vaynerchuk has most of the top Fortune 100 companies at his agency. He has a $100 million a year agency, and he did it in just a handful of years. I think he did it in 5 or 6 years or something crazy. So the reason why I love Gary is not only is he extremely inspirational, but he grew up in small local business. His dad owned a wine shop. Okay, so that's where I got to start, was helping his immigrant father, who started off as a stock boy, moved his way up, and eventually bought that wine and liquor store. It's a big one, by the way. And then Gary was running it by the time he was 22, and he doubled down on AdWords and digital media and all this stuff because he's like an attention forecaster. He knew that people were paying attention there before any of his competitors were even like considering going to Google AdWords. So he's giving you like 5-cent clicks on Google AdWords for the term wine, stuff like that. And he talks about that all the time. You can easily Google his videos and watch any number of videos on the subject. But Gary is an extremely, extremely savvy person. He's invested in Twitter and Uber and a bunch of stuff that you guys use every single day. He's going to be a billionaire one day, no doubt. And so he's constantly forward thinking. And this is the best part. He says Facebook ads is the best ROI ad product of all time. Not only that, I couldn't find a meme for this, but he also says that if you're in business today and you're not using Facebook ads over the next 5-10 years, you're going to lose, because what happened with Google AdWords back in the day, and some of you guys were around for this, I'm sure. I know Brian, you were around doing this stuff then, and a lot of people on your list were too. But there's these old war stories about how people were getting penny clicks and 5-cent clicks and 10-cent clicks, and they made $1 million a year businesses and $1 million a month businesses on the back of the fact that there was just so much attention on that paid ad platform, and there just wasn't that much competition there. And that's where we are right now, guys. Like, no BS. So the fact that you help a local business with it doesn't make it any different. And it's wide open. Doesn't make it any different. Doesn't make it, in fact, it makes it simpler, because all you're trying to do is capture interested, targeted traffic, point them in the direction of an offer, and convert that offer into a paying client for your client. And that's how you make money. Okay, that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years. So why is that important? Well, I mean, beyond the obvious, beyond the reasons I just stated, this is your priority in your business. If you have an agency, you are in the recurring revenue model business. That is your business. I don't care if you do website project design and you do 3 of those a year and you make 120 grand. The longer that you continue to go project to project, the more at risk your business is of waking up one day and just being like, our stuff is dried up. So if you're doing any sort of digital marketing, especially for local businesses, your business model is recurring revenue. Cost of sales to do project work is too high. The competition out there on sites like Upwork and Fiverr and Odesk and whatever else is out there now, I don't even know them all. They're constantly cutting you in price. You can go get a completed website for $500 now. I know you guys know that because probably outsourcing to get that stuff done. But the thing that small business owners will always pay for are putting money in their pocket. They're going to pay you if you deliver sales to them, right? So how do you help an offline business generate sales? Well, you can use a Facebook ad, use a direct response offer to targeted traffic, create a lead for them. They turn that lead into a on-site visit. At that on-site visit, they convert those customers and clients into cash, right? So what does that do for you as a business owner? It allows you to focus on sales. If all you're selling is money, if you're charging $1 and getting your client $10, you're selling money, right? That's this business model. A lot of you are already familiar with lead gen, so I'm not going to beat that, to the dead horse or whatnot. But the priority changes dramatically. I had an SEO agency that turned into a jack of all trades agency, and that's how I lost my ass. Was we started doing everything under the sun, and nobody could sell it or understand it or really execute it except for me, even though we had a big team. Everybody needed my help to get that stuff done. So my priority one was not sales. It was split between service delivery, support, all that stuff. And guess what? At the end of the day, I had no priority 4. I did not have weekend fun money. In fact, there was a lot of months where I did not take paycheck home. So if you can focus your offering on one thing, or not even one thing, one deliverable is probably the best way to say it. If you can focus your offering on one deliverable, and there's 1 or 2 tactics that bring that deliverable to the client, then you can focus on sales. And then after the sales are taken care of, you can go, okay, is the service delivery handled? Maybe I can hire someone to help with that. And then support expenses are typically automation for us, right? How do I sort of automate this process so I don't have to manually do each step? And then you get to priority 4. You get to have a lot of that, which is what I'm doing now. Okay, so hope I got your attention so far. Who the heck am I? I failed as a 7-figure SEO agency owner. We worked with over 300 clients. We said that we specialized in lead generation, but we didn't really. That was just sort of something that we positioned ourselves as. I did a terrible job leading our company into being focused and being a specialist rather than a generalist. And we turned into a jack of all trades agency, excuse me. And we definitely helped our clients, but that just was not enough. At the end of the day, there was not enough income for myself and my business partner to really thrive. And so we shut that down. We spent 3 full years, did over $1 million in sales, had a big office downtown. And it didn't work. It just didn't. We had too much overhead. We had a great team. That wasn't the issue. It was that we could not extract enough profit from our clients for a long enough period of time to make the business model work. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys why that's a little better here. Actually, it's not even a little. It's not even close. It's a lot better. Doing Facebook ads as a service and just specializing as a Facebook ad agency. But here's the biggest thing, guys, is I'm not a guru. If you follow me on Facebook, I do a lot of Facebook Live videos, just shooting around my office. Got a whiteboard in my office, a big one, and I shoot some big picture stuff, just some heady, brainy stuff. But here's the thing, guys. I don't know how to sell anything unless it's of value, and I am a salesman. So, expect me to be confident in what I'm offering here today, but it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not special. I just worked really, really hard, invested into myself over years. I've been doing this stuff since 2005. And in 2011, I started my agency. So I did not have the silver spoon. I started everything from scratch, and I just hustled. I invested into trainings. I hired the best that I could afford at the time at every step of that way, and hired some great coaches, hired some bad coaches, bought some good trainings, bought some bad trainings, picked up stuff along the way. But I can tell you the things that I'm about to show you right now are by far and away the simplest, if you've ever read that book, Essentialism, it's just, how do you get really good at the basics first? This allows you to do it, and I did not do that any time in my career up until about 2 years ago. So this is interesting. This is a picture of a page that's still live on our site. But this was at the end of those 3 years. And if you've seen that picture, this is our creative office space with exposed beams and brick in the historic building in downtown. And outside that window there, if you look right past Betsy, who's still with me today, by the way, she's fantastic. But just past her in the left is Broadway, which is like the busiest street in downtown. And we had this fantastic location, and it was just so rad to have and everything. But we ended up having to sublease it to get out of our 5-year lease 2 years early. And that, I was fine in the video, but there was nights where I went home and I just cried. I didn't know what I was going to do. We just had a baby. My wife was like, "Hey, do you want to maybe go get a job?" She was like kind of whispering under her breath like that. And I was just like, that's not for me. Like, I know that I'm smart. I know that I do a good job with this stuff. I just haven't figured it out yet, right? So what happened was we closed all this. My business partner took off. He wanted to be a freelancer, and he's super happy now. So I'm, grateful for that. Super grateful. But I had to go back to the drawing board because I was like, I have to build a business or go get a job. I have a family to support. So what ended up happening was I went to all of the smartest people that I knew, and I said, what would you do if you were in my shoes? And one of my friends said, well, break open your books and dissect them. So for 6 weeks, I became obsessed with how much money did I make from each service, how much profit, how much input did it take to learn it, how much profit did I extract after that, how much service delivery did it take, how easy was it to sell, what was the cost of sales. So I just split the whole thing apart, and I'm not really good at that, so it took me a long time. But what I figured out was that Facebook ads as a service was like our most profitable service offering by far. We just weren't doing enough of it. So I doubled down on Facebook ads, and I just did not look back since. And that's how I was able to do the 600 and change over the last 22 months. I did the same thing. I invested into the best people that I could afford to hire at the time. I went out and implemented and executed, and I just worked my stinking butt off. So what did that get me? I mean, this is the only picture where I'm really going to show you guys something that's sort of like result-based beyond the thing that, is the proof. Is just that I can't tell you guys how awesome it is to take your wife on a vacation to Hawaii 5 years early. Like, this was our 10-year anniversary goal, was to go back to the place where we had our honeymoon. And we got to do that 5 years early. So that's Hawaii. We went there in February of this year. And we also were able to add an addition to our house. And we also paid off my student loans, which was like 50,000 plus, which is nuts. So, it's just night and day. There was a lot of skip paychecks for me and stuff like that. Back when I had the SEO agency, even though we had our office and our great team and everything, I mean, at the end of the day, if you can't take a paycheck home, it's not very fun to run a business like that. So how's this impacted me? Well, personal income skyrocketed, got my time back, can actually do things, spend time with my kids. Profits are there, and it's scalable. I can scale it. I can make it whatever I want. Like, Facebook ads is rad. You could just, once you've figured out the formula, which I'm going to show you here in a second, especially for local, if you find one dentist and you figure out the winning combo, you can go get 10 dentists, and it's just a few hours more worth of work each month, which is total effing awesomeness. Like, I don't put that much value on creating a new widget anymore. I put a ton of value on creating more time in my life and creating a business that gives back to me. So what does it take to do this? That's kind of boring. That's like just the timeline of kind of how the progression went. But guys, my team, I don't have a single employee. This is the other thing. I have a campaign manager who like quarterbacks all the campaigns, and all I do is I close the client, I get them to pay, and then she does an onboarding call with them and manages their ads and works with our campaign tech, who's the person that built all the landing pages and automation and follow-up. And then she manages it from there on out. I touch the clients a couple times a month. But once the sales process is done now, I just hand it off to these other two people who are not even, these are two part-time stay-at-home moms who work about 25 to 30 hours a week. And I pay them pretty well for what they're doing, but they value their freedom and the flexibility in their schedule. They're not employees. I don't have to pay any overhead for them to be in. I don't have an office anymore for my team. I have a tiny one-person office for me because I have small kids, but that's it. And I can work from wherever. Right now, I'm not even at home. I'm not even in San Diego. I'm in Huntsville, Alabama, visiting my in-laws with my family. So that's the beauty of this business as well, right? I don't need that big office anymore. So what in the heck does this business model look like? Here it is. This is it in a nutshell. And it might look a little complex, but everything on the left-hand side is just totally like, it's not even like that hard most of the time, because everybody knows. Like, you would be shocked at how many small business owners, I start to say the word Facebook ads and they cut me off and they go, "Ooh, we need somebody who knows how to do that," or "Ooh, we just tried that and it didn't work for us, so can you come in?" I mean, this is like the easiest thing I've ever sold in my entire life. And then on the right-hand side is just onboarding call, build a campaign, get the client to approve it, and then report each month. It's like dead simple. So I just want to show you guys, like, simplistically what it looks like, and then I'm going to show you a couple campaigns. So Brian, I know you're sipping tea and you're fighting your cold, but would some of the folks in the chat box like to see some of the campaigns, see what I'm talking about, see how we do this stuff? I'm just going to get a drink real quick too.
Rob, I'm going to make you organizer. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of positive comments, but I'm going to make you organizer so you can see everything. I meant to do that a minute ago. Everybody, you can tell why I like what Rob's doing, right? Totally crazy. Unlike what most people are doing. The story is not too dissimilar from a lot of us, right? But the difference is kind of what he's doing now and how he's delivering results. So we'll give him a second. He'll be back.
Yeah, so, gosh, what
Rob, I'm
else?
going to mute back. I made you organizer, so you should be able to see everything.
Yeah, no problem. So, I'm going to get past the bonus questions. That's probably like right at 4. Okay, so let's go here. Rob stuff. Hey, what's up, Ed McDonough? Ed is in the house. What's up, man? David Perkins is also here. Is audio flaky? Okay, so everybody's audio sounds like it's pretty good now. So Ed, I'll get back to you with that specific question. Ed and David, I will personally respond to both you guys to answer that question. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just getting through a lot of these introductory questions just to answer a couple. Okay, so this was David as well. Hey, Brian, the offer at the end is best offers or something for those who bought. Yeah, so I'll answer that as well in private for you. I'll PM you for that answer, David. So yes, okay, so Steven says, yes, jack of all trades, that was me. So this is the biggest thing with the jack of all trades thing, guys, is it sounds good in theory because anybody who comes to you, you can say yes to. But the fact of the matter is that the stuff that clients come to you with is two things. Number one, usually there's no strategy behind it. So they're asking you to perform a tactic that's short-lived because they think they know what they want and need, but they don't. You know, they're busy running their business. So if you come and they say, oh yeah, we need better reviews, blah, 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 it's really going to launch our business, but they don't have a solid foundation in place, meaning they don't have the lead generation and the sales process in place, then what good is it going to do reputation for them? I mean, unless they're just getting killed, like crushed with bad reviews, you know, where it's like this just net negative thing that they have to fix just to like stay afloat. You know, the thing is that the problem that this solves for the client is that they're going to get a steady stream of new prospects each and every month, right? So let me show you guys real quick why I have specialized in Facebook ads, because let me show you a campaign. Okay, here I'm just going to pull up a campaign that Brian is familiar with, and the case study group was familiar with, but not everybody is familiar with. Oh, what's that? Okay. So look at guys, let me show you a campaign right here. This campaign generated over $200,000 for a gym client that paid us $2,100 in ad spend over 3 months. Okay. So I'm not kidding you. I have documentation to prove all this stuff. I have a video where the client is telling that to us in their own words. And this guy literally, I mean, it's my gym down the street, and I'm lucky to be able to go there every week. But the guy who owns it literally told me, like, sometime he needs to take me out for a steak dinner. And he's referring me out like crazy now. And the reason why he's doing that is because he had his sales manager helping him create crappy ads that did not do anything. And so at the end of the day, his sales manager was taking half his day just sitting around trying to tinker with Facebook ads. They were sending all the ads, which with a terrible offer, to a landing page on their site that it was just a mess. Like nobody knew what to do when they got to their site. It was awful. Nobody knew what the offer was. So we ended up putting an ad together just like this. And by the way, guys, I have invested $30,000 with the best guy in the business who knows this stuff. I invested $30,000 with him. I invested another $5,000 with a different Facebook ads coach. I bought all the best training that I could afford last year because once I started to figure out that this stuff worked, I needed to know how to cookie cutter it out. So you guys are getting the benefit of seeing that right here today, right? So this is no BS. This is totally like the exact ad that generated all that. We ran this ad. We just turned this ad off, in fact. Just like last month, it was like 4.5 months running. We ran the same ad. So check this out. Here's all it says is, hey, Point Loma, we're giving away 10 days of unlimited gym access, which also includes body pump yoga, spin, Pilates, Zumba, and boot camps. We're only giving away 30 free passes this month, so click to download yours now, right? So why is that important? Well, this ad is different than a lot of other ads. This ad calls out their target persona. Point Loma is the neighborhood I live in. That's their target personas, people who live in Point Loma. This ad creates scarcity. It gives the prospect what they want. They want an unlimited free pass so they can try it out and see if they like it before they pay. It's not that complicated, right? So then we send them to a simple, this is like dead simple 2-step landing page. One sec. And I'll show that to you real quick. Actually, if I log into Point Loma Sports Club, it's going to show you all of my, hang on one sec. I can't show you all my clients. That would be bad. Cool. So this is the landing page, all right? Now we use a simple 2-step landing page, and I charge this client. I'm sure you guys are probably asking, like, how much are you charging? Started off charging them $1,000 a month, and they paid $500 a month in additional ad spend to Facebook ads. And now they're paying $2,500 a month because they've asked us to do 4 campaigns total for different things that they offer at the club, and they pay the ad spend on top of that as well. So this is a good one. This is a home run case study client. These guys are great to work with. They get it. They listen to us. But this is a simple lead pages page with we just reiterate that there's something that they can get, that there's a few remaining, and then we have an awesome video. This is an important piece. The video and the offer have a lot to do with how well these pages work. But what we've got here is a simple step 1, step 2. Play the video. They go, oh, that looks like a cool place I can get into, and then they opt in to get their free pass, right? I'm not going to show you the thank you page. This is actually a live page. This is our client's live lead capture page. So I don't want to mess up their stats and put a fake lead in their lead sheet. But that is it, guys. This is so basic. Like, how many hours have you spent on SEO or reputation or writing blog posts or doing something crazy that did not get results? Type that in the chat. How many of you guys have spent 20, 30 hours a month on a client who's paying you $500 a month for SEO? Right? I did that forever. It sucks. It totally sucks. So, like this, and Larry W., yes, this gym paid $2,100 in ads over 3 months, and my fee started off as $1,000 a month, and now it's $2,500 a month. Okay, so, there's a gym down the street, I guarantee you, that has a hole in their business, and it's a hole that you can fill, and you can do it doing just what I showed you right now. Right? So, and Edge says, this case study of the webinar talk is worth $9.97. The value that the attendees are getting on the webinar is absolutely incredible. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that, man. And then Ryan Wharton said, Rob, you might be seriously undercharging. Yeah, I probably am. You don't even know what the price is. Maybe it's $300,000, dude. But look, guys, at the end of the day, this is it. So here's the key. If you can help one client in a specific vertical, you can help many, many, many clients in the same vertical. You can just cookie cutter the same campaign out. So what happened in the case of this client was that that they knew somebody up the road who had a gym that looked a lot like theirs, and they referred us out. And they said, hey, this thing that we're doing with Rob is pretty good. Do you guys want to give it a try too? Here's his number. Those guys called me up, said, hey, come on in. And this guy was so skeptical. I was like, it made me sick to my stomach. He waited for like a month and a half to get started with us because I was just like, dude, just get started. Like, I just showed you all the numbers. I didn't call you. You called me. and I was showing him this lead spreadsheet right here. And this is something that we do in our, here, we'll go back to this slide. See right here, see this little red exclamation point over here? I'm going to make sure you guys see this. This is important. See this? Whoop. Sorry. I told you guys I'm not a pro at this. But see this right here? This reporting thing? We automated that step so that the client cannot, there's no possible way that they can deny that they are getting leads from our efforts. Okay, so it goes Facebook ad, lead page's landing page, lead page's thank you page. And what happens right here is we have a Zapier connection that shoots these leads over to this Google shared spreadsheet. So we have access to this and our client has access to this, right? So what ends up happening is the client can see like, oh, I got, you know, how many leads came in this day? Well, here's all the leads that came in on the 21st between 8 and 19. So that's like 11, 12 leads, right? Well, 3 of those people joined. Guess what, guys? Can anybody guess at this gym how much the average yearly value of a new member is? And this is an upscale place. So it's like a, just think of it like a big box gym, but it's a private owner and it's a club. It's like a sports club. So it's a cross between a country club and a gym. I mean, how much do you guys think that a new member is worth to these guys? Yeah, so 1,500, 900, 999, 200, 1,200, 1,200, 2,500. It's about $1,000, and that's being really conservative. So if they take any of the upsells, it's way more than that. But on the conservative end, like on average, it's worth about $1,000. So that guy just made annualized $3,000 in the first day. So now that's not all upfront fees, but what ended up happening at the end of those 3 months was this particular gym owner made $60,000 from his $2,100 ad spend investment plus the investment of about $6,000 with us. So do you think he's going to keep continuing with us when we can deliver those kinds of results? Right? And this is why I've been obsessed with this, guys. Obsessed. It's like you just cannot deny the power of this. And if you do a crappy ad with a crappy targeting and a crappy landing page and crappy follow-up, these guys will still win. They'll still at least make their money back. That's not how I roll, but there's people out there totally, delivering crap value, and these owners are still, I mean, it's the best traffic source out there. There's nothing else that competes with this at all, So, just to show you guys sort of how this works, this process is not complicated. It's very simple. This connection to the Google Sheet takes, a couple hours to learn the first time, but after that, you can do it in like 20 minutes for each client. It's not that hard. I would estimate for each new gym client, now we spend 3 to 4 hours, and I don't even do it anymore. My team does it, but they spend 3 to 4 hours building all this out. We've gotten good at it, guys. We perfected our craft, but there's no reason why you couldn't do this as well. And again, I just can't explain to you how ridiculous it is for us to be doing all this sort of shit, like telling a small business owner they should be blogging when they're not doing this first. Like how many of you out there have suggested that before? And I am the first one to say yes, because I've done that. I used to tell people that content marketing was the answer without any paid traffic, because it was like that for a while, right? And maybe we did a little Google AdWords, but I mean, yeah, Sai, you got it. Repeatable, scalable, actionable. Enough said. There's just nothing else to explain about it, So Larry W says, does this work month after month, 6 months later? So Larry, this is just me being real with you. Average offer lasts for about 3 months if it's a good offer. And then you need to refresh the offer. So what we end up doing is we make a promotional calendar with our client so that they pre-plan the promotions, and we just swap the promotion out. Like this one died after 4.5 months. That was a great one to run for 4 months. But if you look at the bottom here, they've got personal training funnel that we built. They've got a boot camp. Whoops, don't call these people. These are real leads. They've got a, yeah, guys, please be cool with that. Like I'm trying to keep my clients' data safe and everything. So I'm not trying to hide it from you guys, but these are real results. So, you know, this is a boot camp funnel that we created for them. So now we've got 4 funnels that we can tap into. We're just going to rotate them throughout the year and put them on a schedule, right? So that's how you do that. You will experience ad fatigue, but you can get 1 week to, you know, 1 week to 4.5, 5 months out of the offer. It just depends on how good the offer is, right? So, what's up, Chet? Chet Bruce and I had lunch because Chet lives in Point Loma, and he says he should buy me lunch. You're on, brother. I bought Chet lunch because he was a complete gentleman and approached me the right way and just wanted to exchange value. And we had a nice lunch and talked business and marketing. And I bought him some pizza, or I forget what he had. Maybe he had pasta. I don't remember, Chet, but he lives in my neighborhood. So, yeah. So, okay. So listen, guys, I don't want to stay in the questions too much longer because there's more to show you. But here's the thing, guys. I want to explain to you this portion, like the prospecting, sales, how to get payment, get started. That is important. I wouldn't have gotten to where I am without selling something and positioning it right. But I'm trying to tell you guys that this part is drastically more simple than what you're used to doing. I mean, think about how complex it is to get a site right now. You got to do citations, get reviews, do on-site SEO, do technical SEO, make sure the hosting is good, make sure it's mobile optimized, you know, all this stuff. Our tech stack is like lead pages and ClickFunnels. We use the Facebook ads tool. We use Zapier and Google Sheets. Google Sheets is free. Zapier is free. That's pretty much it. It's like a super profitable business, you know? So at the end of the day, I don't want to tell you guys that this is something that will save your life because I busted my butt to, you know, get to where I am today with all this stuff. And you'll have to too. I'm not going to sugarcoat that and tell you that it's going to come without effort. But what I'm saying is, why do it the hard way if you can do it the simple way and get tons more leverage, get your clients better results, put more money in your bank account, and not have to deal with, you know, clients telling you like, oh, this isn't working anymore. I mean, we've all been there, right? So that was the part that I hated, was just, you know, about my SEO agency, was it was just terrible. And let's go back to that slide. So let me tell you guys something about this business right here. When I booked $1 million in business, I always paid my business partner first. I always paid, so he never went without a paycheck in 3 years, even if it was small. There was some months where it was pretty small. The first year that we were in business, we did pretty good. I didn't take a paycheck for 9 months that year to get the business going, and told my wife, like, hey, if we're going to make this work, I got to, you know, put my staff and the business first and reinvest and grow it. So I did that. But 9 months, no paycheck. First year, we had a little bit of money left over. We profited like a couple grand. And so I cut my business partner a bonus check of $1,000. We bonused all our staff. And I gave him my $1,000 as an extra bonus because the kid busted his butt. He was doing all of the fulfillment in our SEO business. And honestly, I was booking clients faster than he could service them. And so that was year 1. We did a couple $100 grand. And then years 2 and 3, we grew. We added our team, and we've got Betsy there, who's still with me today. In fact, if you guys join the training course I'm about to show you, Betsy is my campaign manager, and so she helps with all the ads, and she's, you know, helps me run the Facebook group and all that stuff. But her and Jess, my other ex-employee, who the two of them are now contractors who work for me each month. Those two never missed a paycheck. I made sure my team got really well taken care of. I invested into trainings. I took them to conferences, bought them training product courses so they could expand their skill set. Betsy now has a successful part-time blog called Legos in My Louie with the skills that she's learned over the years with us, and is a darn good Facebook ads marketer. If you guys try to steal her, I will punch you in the baby maker. That is not cool. But she's a rock star. So she's got her own thing going. She's got 2 beautiful little kids. She's got a mommy lifestyle blog that's doing really well and picking up momentum. She's got a killer Instagram following too. So I invested into my team because when things get rough, they have my back now, right? Now, what's different about then versus now is me. I am able to take home a paycheck that I've taken home more than I've ever earned in my entire life now. And my office looks like this. I'll show you guys. And this is the case study training that Brian referred to earlier. And so let me show you guys. This is my current office right here. You know, I've got a whiteboard behind my desk, and it's like 9 feet by 7 feet, or I mean, it's tiny. But now, what the difference is that I pay about $1,000, and that might sound high to you guys, but that's $1,000 in overhead, and they take care of the internet and all that stuff for that cost. I've got my cell phone bill, got my laptop, I've got my iMac desktop. I have 2 part-time team members, and we're averaging about 27,000, 28,000 a month. That's the average that we're doing, right? So if you guys can do that math real quick, you can kind of understand that I'm taking home way, 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 way more than I ever have before. And you can too, and it just doesn't take that many clients to get there. I mean, if you're averaging $1,500 a month, you know, per client, it's just not that hard to do it, you know. And it's much, much easier to attract clients when you can show results like that, you know, like that Jim got. So let me jump back into the questions, and you guys can, oh my gosh, this blew up. I knew I should have stuck to figuring FB ads for last year. Dante Castell, yes, sir. You should, not to say you should have, but I think it's wise to, you know, say, yes, I need to address that again, you know. Guys, look, in another 5 years, there's just going to be more competition. The price of all this stuff is going to go up. I guarantee you in 5 or 10 years, there's not going to be any gyms who are like, I spent $2,100 in ad spend and I got 200 grand from it. Like, that's just not going to happen. Just because everybody's going to get on the bandwagon by then, right? So, I mean, we have a good 5-10 years as local marketers. But the skill set that you learn is going to be irreplaceable, you know. So, what's up, Rob? Yeah, Rob, so this is another transparent thing, guys. He says, Rob Noguera, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the last name, he says, looks a lot like Billy Jean is marketing FB info. That's right, dude. That's because that's the guy that I paid over 30 grand to learn this from. So I paid him one-on-one last year to get, you know, some of the best advice that I could, best implementation. He helped us. He helped my team get trained, all that stuff. And he is incredibly, incredibly talented at this. And so I mean, I got my pictures of him all over my face. I mean, I'm not shy about telling you guys that. Billy Jean is extremely expensive to go work with. His style is a little bit more different than mine. He's pretty aggressive. Mine's more laid back. I have more of a lifestyle business. He's grown this huge agency. So that I don't make any qualms with that, and I give him credit for teaching me, you know, a lot of the skill set that I've learned, for sure. Hopefully that data on the G sheet can be edited prior to the replay. So yeah, Dan, I'll just clip that out or something on the replay. It's fine. Let's see, Dante Castell. Yeah, can you cold call and get your first few clients without case studies? Yes. In fact, when you just get started with this stuff, what you have to do is do whatever it takes to get your first case study. So if you got to do the service part for free and just ask the business owner to kick in the ad spend, that's what, you know, honestly, at the end of the day, it's like whatever it takes. So you can use like voice drops, for example, have the foot in the door strategy, and then say, you know, well, hey, if you like that, you're really going to like this. Or if you're already doing reputation or something like that, something small to get your foot in the door, no problem. But just get that first case study so that you can use that. It's a lot easier to sell once you can prove results. Okay, Arthur says, tell us how to book clients faster than we can service them. So here's the deal, Arthur. Once you specialize, if you can say something to the effect of, you know, hey, my name is Rob Bailey, and I specialize in helping gyms profitably acquire members using Facebook and Instagram ads. If you're selling somebody for the first time, you would say something like, and I'm willing to help you acquire some new members for free for a week in exchange for a case study. No strings attached. I won't charge you a thing. All you have to do is kick in a few $100 for the ad spend just to see if it works, if you like it. That's how you get your first one. And most small business owners will be like, what? You'll do that for me for free? Heck yeah. I don't have anything to lose, right? Like, why would I say no to that? That's literally the response I've gotten. And that's how I got my very first Facebook ads client under the real estate niche. Was I hit up a friend who had posted an open house in his newsfeed. I said that exact thing to him. I said, why would I not want to do that? That was my very first case study with this stuff. That's all great about you paying your people, though. I'm not sure how to get clients for this yet. Arthur, okay, so Arthur, tell me if that didn't clear it up yet. And I will tell you. That's a new one punching to me. Yep, and guys, I did this by myself. Just to let you know, I did this by myself first, and then I looped my team into it. So, I set up the lead pages campaigns. They're very easy to do. It's not, you guys saw the landing page. It's not like I did something that exact template is in the landing page marketplace on the lead pages site. Can you help us find a campaign manager and tech if we need them? Walt says. No, I can't. That's not really my business model, Walt, but if you look, there's literally a site called Hire My Mom. Check this out. And you guys might laugh, but part-time stay-at-home moms are super qualified, super motivated. They have limited time, so they get stuff done. Look at this, legit work for part-time stay-at-home moms. This is a real site. I haven't found someone from here personally, but all of the people that are on this site fit the description of the people that I have perfectly. I just happened to get introduced to them through warm contacts like 5-6 years ago. Both of my both Jess and Betsy have been with me for a long time. So how many? Okay, so Glenn Garnes has a good question. What's the product link? Let me put that up for you, buddy. So here's the deal, guys. Again, I'm not a guru. I'm the farthest thing from it. But what I'm willing to do is to show you guys what I've got as far as a training product for $297. And the reason why I want to do this, to be honest, is because the response was so huge from the case study training that I did. And I want to be able to go deep into the ins and outs of it. So I'll show you how to connect Zapier. I'll show you how to create your first campaign. I'll give you the stuff that we know that works just out of the box. So you can go and get your first client, approach them the right way, and get them to pay you, what you're worth. To be honest, I mean, if you're not getting your client 10x what they're bringing to you, then you shouldn't be getting paid $1,000 a month for one service. But this is the thing, is right now, that's so easy to do. So when you approach a client, you have that confidence, and you say, listen, I'm going to put money in your pocket. And if I don't for some reason, it's no big deal. Like, I'm not charging you to get the case study anyway. So it's literally risk-free for you. But, once you do, I think you're going to be really happy with the result. That's a refreshing proposition to a small business owner, because there's not a whole lot of people out there who are talking about marketing systems like this, where they're willing to sort of earn their business like that, and then in exchange get something of value back. And then if the relationship keeps working out, then they can, which it will, because you're going to show them, like, oh, well, this guy signed up, so didn't that cover the cost of that? He'll be like, yeah. So, I mean, I have like a 97% success rate with our clients, guys. I'm going to teach you what makes a good client a bad client too, so that you don't have to mess with the bad clients. And that's part of this. It's just like any other service. What is the future of Facebook ads? Roger Weaver says, what's the next best thing in digital marketing? Right now it's Facebook ads. You got another good 5 or 10 years. Can you talk about what verticals work well for Facebook ads? Good question. The good verticals are the ones that you find on Groupon. This is a nugget. You guys ready for nugget? Type yes in the chat box if you're ready for a huge nugget. Just like, yes, 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 yes. Um, anything that works well in Groupon will work generally for Facebook ads. These are the easy ones, right? Selling ice cream is really easy. Selling food is really easy. Selling experiences is really easy. Selling oil changes, maybe not, but most of these are awesome for Facebook ads. Okay, so in my training, I will tell you which ones are hard, which ones are medium, and which ones are easy. But this is a honeypot. Or livingsocial.com, same thing. Let's see. And actually, Living Social, I don't know if you guys know this, but Living Social just got acquired by Groupon, so they're going to be sort of the same pretty soon, I guess. So the reason why these do well is because you guys got to remember, there's people scrolling through the news feed talking about cats and babies, you know, and that's all good and great, but if you're trying to get them to stop in their news feed and take a specific action through a direct response ad, it has to be something that does not take a whole lot of education to get them to take action on. Right? So it's tough to sell bankruptcy services. It's tough to sell coaching. It's tough to sell things that have long sales cycles, like purchasing a yacht or something like that. I mean, stuff that take months and months of research. You know, those are tough ones. Okay, cool. I'm serious, guys. There's so many questions in here. I will never be able to get to them all, so I'm trying to pick out the ones that I think are good. Not good, but just ones that I can answer that are relevant right now. So,
yeah, I'll try to serve some up for you too, Rob.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that would help, Brian. I didn't know if you were
sorry,
dying. But,
let's see. All right, I put the link. A bunch of you asking about the link, and I put it in the chat box so you can just click on it. Rob, Arthur asked, Arthur Kronos, he said, do you need case studies in multiple niches?
No. So here's the thing about niches is I would only work one or two at a time. And in fact, if you're new to this, I would only focus on one. And here's why, is because this is something I say over and over again all the time, but it takes like 20 to 30 hours to figure out a new niche. It just really does. Like, you have to research what works. You have to learn the verbiage. You have to know what offers are out there in the marketplace. So at the end of the day, I would rather, like, let's say you try to get 3 new clients in 3 new verticals, and it took 30 hours each. That's 90 hours, right? That's a lot. To me, I got kids. Like, I want to, I want to spend as much time with them as I can, right? So if you replace that with learning one new niche, that's 30 hours, but then you had 60 hours to go and book more clients within the same niche or vertical, and it only takes 2 or 3 hours to fulfill on a new client per month. Well, you just have 60 hours divided by 3 is 20 new clients that you could service within the same niche. So that's 21 clients within the same niche versus 3 if they were all in different niches. Does that make sense? So at the end of the day, if you've got, you know, 2 niches, that's exponentially less effective than if you can just focus on one. So I would focus on one, like restaurants, you know, or gyms or chiropractors. I would just focus on one and just work that until you like got it, you know, and then move on to another one. The analogy I use is if you stay in your swim lane, like Olympic swimmers, they swim back and forth in their own swim lane, right? And in fact, when they get ahead, they get a little bit of an advantage because they don't have to fight the wake. And so Olympic swimmers go back and forth in their same lane. If they start to cross over into somebody's other lane, or if they even get close to the lanes, then they lose because they lose efficiency and they're not as fast as the next guy who's just straight back and forth the whole time. That's exactly what picking a vertical is like, especially with something like this, with paid traffic, right? So does that answer it?
Yep, no, that's perfect, Rob. So let me see. How complex is it to learn the Facebook targeting to get the ad to serve to the right people? So I guess, you know, just kind of the 101 Facebook ad. So pretty easy there, right?
It's so easy. For local, it's so easy. There are some things that you have to know, some do's and don'ts, but compared to other stuff, it's just not that hard. I mean, it's like you set a radius, you split it out between mobile and desktop, and there's a couple of other things that I'll save for the the training, but it's not that hard. Like I said before, if you guys just went and tried this on your own, you're not going to have as much success because, you know, a lot of this has to do with positioning and sharpening the axe before you cut down the tree. But if you went out there and tried it on your own for local business, you would get some results, you know. So it's the ad targeting has almost nothing to do with it. It's almost all the offer, the positioning, the steps that the person takes, what motivates them to get in. So it's like 80% research and, you know, positioning with your client and 20% tech, which is what I love about it. Because every single business owner just goes, oh, we're just going to fire up a, you know, crappy ad. Well, crappy ads don't sell anything. Crappy ads sell crappy shit, you know. So if you can build a skill set about what makes a compelling ad and apply this super powerful tool to it, you know, get good at the basics, you're going to win every single time. It's so basic.
All right, Rob, let me rattle off a few of them. Do I have to walk into a bunch of gyms or a bunch of realtor offices, etc.? And what if I can't start tomorrow with the holidays? I'm busy. A lot of people have a comment about, does it matter if I start tomorrow or if I start next week after the holiday? There's a few people asking that.
No, so here's the deal. I'm going to actually upload some new, more polished videos on Tuesday. What's in there right now is my case study videos that I taught live. So there's like 2.5 hours of big picture conceptual stuff where I literally teach you and show you the step-by-step of what I'm doing. You know, it's basically the stuff that you can review now, just light, you know, very, very light. You can just take some light notes or something like that. And then on Tuesday, I'll give you the stuff that you can actually implement. So, I mean, I'm on vacation too. So I'm not trying to blast you guys with a bunch of stuff like right away and expect you to, like, you know, wake up tomorrow or on Thanksgiving having a new client. Like, that's not cool. Like, you guys need to position, you know, educate yourself, build the skill, position yourself well, and turn this into a real business. That's what I made this for. So, meaning class begins on Tuesday, meaning I'm going to give you some really, really actionable stuff where you're going to start digging into this stuff on Tuesday. But watch the trainings that are in there now, just light. It's like listening to a podcast almost, you know. It's just light conceptual things so that you can get your affairs in order with how to position the service and how you can have success with it.
All right, Rob, what about, Anna asked, do I have to walk into a lot of clients? Can I do this without walking in, I think is her general question.
No, I mean, most of our clients we've never met, so you don't have to walk into anywhere. However, I will tell you, I'm not going to sit here and lie. You have to drum up business. You know, that like people, it's an easy service to sell, but you still have to do the activity of selling. It's not going to be something where you just, you know, buy a crappy list of, like, you know, terrible emails and blast that out and get a bunch of clients from it. Like, this is the anti-IM product. It's like, it's so real to business owners. Like, the second that you turn the campaign on, they're gonna let me show you this. This is crazy. The second that you turn the campaign on, they're gonna be like, oh my God, what did you do? So the thing is, you want to carefully craft your messaging so that when you walk into or call or email these businesses, you choose one that's well qualified to work with you, and then you give them the result, and then you build a long-term relationship with them, right? So those are the goals. The goals are not to, you know, blast 100 businesses with the same message, you know what I mean, and just hope that one of them signs up. The goal is to say, I know one of these businesses that would really appreciate this, so I'm going to be extremely, extremely strategic about how I approach them, and then give them a situation where they can't lose to start off. And once I get them results, they're going to want to keep me forever. That's the play. Does that make sense?
Yeah, great, Rob. Let's see. All right, so can you prospect on LinkedIn? You guys can prospect any way you want on the front end. LinkedIn, email, face-to-face, voice drops. There's lots of strategies. Rob, do you do any, this is from Dante, do you do any retargeting display ads, RTB, to supplement or kind of complement what you're doing on Facebook, or do you just not even need to?
Nope. We do retargeting ads on Facebook, desktop, and mobile, but we don't do the audience network or any of that other stuff. guys, like, why would you want to worry about that if you knew that you could put this much firepower behind your client? That's going to get them like maybe 1 or 2 new clients all year, you know, compared to this, which is like dozens per month. It's just, I'm telling you, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. This is like, it's like if you were getting 5-cent clicks on any keyword that you want in the AdWords days in the early 2000s, would you try to mess around and go like, I think we're going to do this other thing that maybe like might work and like do this and stuff. And I'm not downplaying. If you're like a ninja at RTB, go for it. I know exactly what that is. I've helped clients with that before. But unless they're a massive, massive company, I'm talking about like your gym down the street, the restaurant down the street, the yogurt shop, the nightclub, the jeweler down the street. Jewelers are great for Facebook ads. Just go to Groupon and look and just be like, would RTB be good for any of these businesses? That's like a great gauge for you to get a gut check on like how much you need to, put into something like that. It's just unnecessary. I think you could just help them so much more doing this. It's like, why would you mess with that? That's my stance on it.
Awesome, man. All right, how about Roland has to go. Roland, I know he gets into this a lot in the course, but I'll throw it out there. Karate, MMA studios, more boutique kind of establishments. I think he's thinking along the same lines, Rob, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, yes. So that would fall into the class-based fitness studios. To me, it's the same as like a yoga studio or a lot of these gyms. So it can work. I will say this. It's a little bit of a tougher sell because the objections are higher. It's like, do I want me or my kid getting punched in the face or kicked in the face? So it works better if you can position it as weight loss or position it as learn some self-defense skills, right? Learn 3 self-defense skills within your first week, something like that. Because again, the majority of people, you're going for a little bit more mass appeal, right? You're not going for the guy who wants to be a black belt right away. You're going after like the parent who's got the kid who like might be getting beat up at school or something. Or if they're adults, it's the same thing. It's like, how do you make that fun instead of feeling like they're just going to get punished the whole time? Because they won't get up off the couch and go down there to try it if you can't do that, right? So it's a little bit tougher than like a normal gym where it looks fun, like people are dancing around, losing weight or whatever, but it can definitely totally work. That one's just requires a little bit more strategy than like a gym would, like a regular gym.
Rob, a bunch of people asking about real estate. Is that a viable option using the Facebook strategy, or do you think that maybe that's not the best pitch?
It is. It works really well for certain strategies. I will tell you that one's on the harder end of the scale, though. I've done open house campaigns. Billie Jean taught me how to do some open house campaigns, and I had success with that for a while. I stopped working with real estate agents, again, just being super real with you guys, because there was a lot of starting and stopping. They have very long sales cycles. So what I did was I just said, I'm going to focus on the vertical that I'm doing the best in right now, which was fitness, right? So I have almost all fitness studios, and it's like health and fitness is my niche, right? We've got like a massage place, some things like that, but some chiropractors, but a lot of gyms. So you can be successful with real estate, but here's the thing is you have to give people what they want in the ad. So it's a little bit tricky for the agent to be constantly available for these people. So if they want like a free home valuation and you get them 10 leads in a day, the agent has to follow up with them or else he's wasting money, So it's a little bit of a tougher one for that reason. And it also depends on the market, like if you sell in a rural area or if there's an area where the economy is a little bit more impacted, the ads aren't going to do as well, right? So that'll affect the results. But if you're super into real estate, it could work.
Rob, what about, and I'll quit hitting you up with these, Michelle asked about cosmetic surgeons.
That's a great niche. Yep. It's a great one. Really high ticket, easy to sell. Like, people get an immediate immediate gratification, like anything that's pain or pleasure, like think about the Groupon offers. Most of them are pleasure based, but some of them are like relieving pain, you know? Like, oh, that's what a chiropractor sells is pain relief, right? That's what a foot doctor sells is pain relief. That's what a dentist sometimes sells is pain relief. Sometimes a dentist sells pleasure, which is make your smile brighter, right? But if you're relieving pain or causing pleasure, then you can craft an ad that works pretty well on Facebook. There are some exceptions, but that's a pretty good rule of thumb right there.
All right, guys, before we wrap up, any questions? Lob us your best questions right now, and I'll read them. And early on, somebody asked me one that I said I would take later. Let me find it. Mike McGrail here's a great one. I don't know if I answered this or if you asked it already, Rob. Mike earlier asked, what percentage of the monthly payment do you put towards Facebook ads? I think you talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, so all of the fees that I talked about are service fees. So that all goes to me. You know, the client pays ad spend separately. So on average, our clients start off paying about $500 a month in ad spend for the month. So what we're doing is we're seeing, like, you know, if you start off with a client and they spend about $500 in ad spend for the month, in most markets that's enough to get them a really good result, you know. And with Facebook ads, typically your first month is like one of your best, if not the best. Like if you get it right the first month, the traffic that you're going to send is just like outstanding. So you can really, really make it super like compelling to have your own fee, because like if they cover, so let's go back to the gym example. It's $1,000 a month. I'm sorry, $1,000 a year annualized value for a member. They only need one member to cover that first month's fee that I charge them. They only need two to cover my fee plus, you know, 2 months worth of ad spend, you know. And what they ended up doing was they covered much, much more than that. They pulled in like 20 grand, I think, in month one money in that first month. So my piddly little $1,000 fee plus $500 in ad spend was nothing to them. It was nothing, you know. So don't worry about
Rob,
that.
I got to tell you that Ryan Wharton just said, and I tend to agree with him, that you're undercharging.
Yeah, that's
you know,
fine. I mean, here's the deal, guys.
It's not like you care, right? Because you're getting what you want to get, and you're delivering a massive value to the customer.
Well, here's the thing, guys. This is my first serious swing at teaching this, and Billy, I'm super grateful for Billy. Like I paid Billy was worth every penny and more. Rick Mulready was worth every penny and more. Everything that I've invested into Brian Anderson over the years has been worth every penny more. Same thing with Maury Brown, you know. But everybody starts somewhere. You guys will see, like, I started off shooting this with my iPhone in my office with a whiteboard. That's why this video looks weird. Here, I'll play it real quick for you. You know, so this is what you guys are getting a massive discount on is the fact that I am going to be able to deliver this in a way that allows me to shorten my learning curve as a teacher, you know, and really help you guys along the way. So the next time that I offer this, it'll be much more polished. The price will be higher. That's just how it works. And then depending on how much time I can, you know, devote to it and everything, you know, the price will be adjusted accordingly. But you guys, I've never offered this to anybody else. Like I've done the case study with Brian and this call with Brian, and that's it. I've never taught this to anybody else.
Let me tell you, I wouldn't do a webinar with somebody that I didn't know and I didn't know firsthand. But I've met Rob. I've worked with him. He's worked hand in hand with Mario. And the thing that stands out, and I think you already know this, I don't care if this fits or not for you, but the takeaway from tonight is here's a guy in California that's been where you've been and where I've been. He hit, I don't want to say rock bottom, Rob, but you kind of hit on tough times. You turned the corner. You examined your business. You did some hard analysis, and you made the decisions you had to make. Then you drilled down on Facebook, and you went hardcore on it. Somebody else, Dante, or somebody said, I wish I had done that a year ago. And the fact that you've invested all this money in training and you've landed these clients and now you're getting 4-figure deals per client, and you're not generating 5 or 10 leads. You're generating hundreds and multiple hundred leads for these clients. They're not going anywhere at all.
No, I mean, look at this, guys. I'll show you the power of this. I mean, and you're right. Like, it was, I'm a pretty open guy, but it's to explain to you guys the difference that it's been. I mean, I was at Billy's event. He had a live event not too long ago in San Diego, and he asked me to get up on stage and just tell people sort of like how this has been for me. And I started crying on stage because it's, at the end of the day, this has really positively affected me and my family, and I can't explain to you how bad of a thirst that I have that needs to be quenched to just show other people that this can help them and the businesses that they help as well. I mean, my clients love me now. That's kind of all I wanted, and there's a specific reason why, and I won't share it today. It's a little long-winded, but I kind of had the rich dad, poor dad upbringing, if that makes sense. If you guys have ever read that book, and my real dad, just like in the book, was my poor dad, and my godfather is who's still alive today, is my rich dad. And so when I finally sort of feel like I had somewhat arrived, I just thought that my first thought was just like how many other people out there could use these kind of results to make a change in their life and in the businesses that they help. Because, the men that I grew up looking up to have small businesses, my dad's passed away now, but when he was alive, he had small businesses, and my godfather to this day still runs a commercial contracting business in LA, So those guys are our clients. They need help. So it's not easy to navigate this. I mean, we know that because we're marketers, but look at all these leads. So if you can come into a business that was just doing okay, or wasn't doing well.
Is that 573 leads?
Yeah.
I had a great discussion with a guy, Tom Mankey, who's active in voice drops, and we were talking about, the question was, could we deliver, I think the number that I had on a slide this morning or last week was 7 or 8. And we legitimately can deliver 7 or 8. But Rob, when you're delivering leads, you're delivering several hundred, right? Now that's per campaign. That's not in one day, but that's over that campaign, right? So in a given month, right, you may generate 200 or 300 realistically, right?
Right. So if you look at this cell right here, this is the timestamp. It's November 13th. So we did 573, and I'm just going to go all the way back to the top. Yeah, so between June 21st and what was that? Sorry, November 13th?
November, yeah.
So July, August, September, October. In almost 5 months, we delivered 573
Yeah,
leads.
it's 114, 5 months, it's about 114 leads a month.
Yeah.
And you guys, that's roughly 3+ leads a day, or several some days, none the next. Imagine the feedback. So Rob, when you've generated this kind of leads, has a guy ever said, and I think you told me they have they ever said, hey, can you ease up for a few days, we're buried, or anything like that?
Yeah, I actually have emails. I was hoping to find that screenshot. I have emails where they're like, in text messages that I've screenshotted, where they're like, can you shut it off, please? Or can you pause it, because we're dying. And that happens sometimes, but we just dial it down for them, and it's fine. But this is the beauty of it. If they do Groupon, Groupon's a fantastic place to find new clients for this, because the Groupon, it's like they get blasted by a tidal wave, and then the next 3 months are death and destruction. That's not good for a business. That sucks if you're a business. With this, there are times, it's not super common where they just are like, oh my God, turn it off. But when you turn the campaign on, they for sure are like in shock. They're just like, oh my God, our phone is blowing up. People are walking in saying they saw the Facebook ad, like da 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 da. But what's cool is after that initial sort of like, oh holy crap, we got to get our sales process together, they experience a nice steady stream of leads day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, which is much more amicable and profitable for a business. They have a nice flow. Their salespeople have this rhythm. They're getting in the zone with the sales, right? So it helps a lot to have it done this way. But yeah, I've had, that guy that got referred by this client, the day that we turned it on, he sent me an email before we turned the ad on at like 6 a.m. on the Saturday of a holiday weekend. And before noon, he had already emailed me and said, "What did you guys do? Because you're right, I'm wrong. I don't know why I waited so long. You know, we're getting people coming in already from the ad." Um,
Hey Rob, I want to tell you this. I don't know if you saw it in here, but I don't know Josh, but Josh just said, Josh Hightower, I purchased, Rob, I purchased when you first put the link up. I dropped from the webinar when I had a client call me. I dropped off and used some of the stuff you talked about on the call, right? He used your request for a case study in exchange for a reduced monthly rate. He just joined back on. He's already signed the guy up for this case study concept that you talked about, and he hasn't even finished the webinar. Matter of fact, he bought, but he hasn't even gone through it. So, pretty,
oh my gosh.
pretty crazy. And
Wow.
I had another one. I saw Ed Gunna, and I know Ed. Ed said, "Please let people know that the case study was awesome. This is worth the $297." Side said, "I would offer this as a webinar special for $997. Really, the skills you learn are that good," and that's his humble opinion. He says,
Wow.
"You know, there's a lot of this." There's a lot of this. So, yes, I mean, most of these niches you're talking about would work for sure, you guys. Let's see. Yeah, here's how I would describe it. Rob does a series of video trainings live in his office teaching you exactly what to do. Imagine one-on-one coaching where you're watching your coaching on video instead of him sitting next to you. So it's not a webinar. It's more recorded, training through slides.
Yeah.
A lot of it, Rob, is you teaching on the whiteboard, right?
Right. So I like that style better because, guys, I'm terrible at like making polished slides and stuff, as you can tell. I just kind of,
Me too, dude. That's horrible. I need to switch to that model.
yeah. So what I do is I like live better because I can answer questions as you go, and it's more like you're in a classroom with me, where you're sitting next to me. So what I've started to do was just teach it live using Facebook Live, record it in the group, put the replay in there right away. And I probably will make some more polished slides because they need it. They need that, detail and attention to the specifics a little more than I covered them in the case study. But the tactics really work. They're super powerful if you just focus on them. So, yeah, I want to make sure that I know who that is because I want to interview him. That guy is a hustler. He's like, I'm going to go implement
Yeah,
that.
Josh Hightower. I'll get you his email and phone number. We'll sign up so you have it. But hey, let me read another one to you. Jane Tuck, who I know, who lives in the Atlanta area, she was in your initial case study with kind of our VIP group, and she said, "Look, the case study was awesome." Rob, and I'm just reading this out of the Q&A, guys. Rob holds nothing back, a very generous individual. And I would say that's probably a very nice way to sum up Rob. He is a very giving and generous kind of guy. And when I asked him to come on one of our Revenue Boosters calls, he came on. Jane, you were on that call, and Anna, I think you were, and a few others. I mean, it was an unbelievable call. He truly didn't have anything to sell. As a matter of fact, when the call ended, everybody on the call were beating him up. Can you show me what you're doing? Can you put something together? And Rob and I just figured out how to get him set up on JVZoo. And, I mean, it's all brand new. I mean, literally, I had to call EBR, who's the JVZoo CEO, and say, "Hey, EBR, I need you to approve this new guy for an account because they don't usually approve. They only approve you for like 20 or 30 bucks." And I wanted him to be able to sell on JVZoo, make it easy on him. Anyway, it's a crazy story, but it's true. Literally, I texted with EBR this morning and said, "Hey, I need you to get this guy Rob approved. He's got something really cool." And he's like, "Rob, who?" I go, "You don't know him, but that's what's cool." And, it was kind of crazy. And then he approved it. And long story short, listen, for everybody that's looking at this, we'll probably have this through Sunday or Monday. I just need to talk to Rob. I know it's a holiday, so there's no hard pressure. You can see there is zero pressure on this call. It's a strict content dump, and it's a share of Rob's personal case study. And you can decide whether he's the kind of guy you want to work with or not. I can only tell you what other people are saying and my own experience, having met him. Yeah, so for people that bought, you should get an email from Rob, right from your members area. Is that right? And they'll get login details, or you'll actually send them to the URL where they log in. I think somebody's asking. Walt Watts and somebody else was asking that.
Yeah. So this is what'll happen is you'll hit a login page and you'll just create your own username and password, and it just says to use your same JVZoo email, so I know that, you know, that's where you came from. And then you'll get right into here, and what I'll do is on Tuesday, these videos will be improved, and I'll have some handouts and documents and stuff in there as well. And I'll also post a link to the Facebook group. So there's only 2 areas that you need to worry about. There's the Facebook group and this membership site, and that's it. It's very straightforward.
And for those of you that already bought, you can actually click on the JVZoo link called "Looking for Your Purchase," and you'll be able to see this or any other purchases if you don't, for whatever reason, you don't see it. Let me, I'll put that in the chat so you guys know where it is. Let me grab the link. One more thing. I mean, before I say the last thing, let's see. And Frank, I just saw your thing. Let me post this, and Frank, I'll write you back. Let's see. So, Rob, a bunch of people asking if they can buy with PayPal. Actually, about 7 people asking that.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there any reason why we wouldn't want to do that, Brian? I mean, I don't know.
No reason. It was probably the setup in JVZoo, honestly, guys, because Vanessa and he worked on it together, but you know how it is. It's something new. And no, I mean, the nice thing about PayPal and credit card is it gives people a choice. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I think I can go in and turn that on.
You can just edit the product, I think, and then it'll make it available.
Okay,
Here,
so
I'll take
guys,
screen on.
Yeah, why don't we do this?
This is pretty genuine. I know you're at your in-laws, I think, right now.
I am, yeah. They're having dinner in the other room, and I told them that I was excited to spend this time with you guys, and they're super understanding. So, but yeah, I'm excited because guys, here's the thing: is I think time is precious, right? Like, there's only so many years this will be good before everybody jumps on board. Like Gary Vee has another quote that I love that's just like, marketers ruin everything. So before, all the other marketers ruin this stuff, let's help some small businesses, and then it'll build the skill set. You guys know that social has the most attention of any of the media platforms out there right now. I mean, I just posted this on my business page, but I got on the plane with my wife, and the flight was a little bit delayed, and we're sitting on the plane, and I'm looking down the aisle, and like 50% of the people are looking at Facebook or Instagram while they're just sitting there waiting for takeoff. Why shouldn't your business or your client's business be on Facebook or Instagram? Because that's where all the eyeballs are right now. It'll be something else in the future. Maybe Facebook turns it, like maybe Snapchat's the next Facebook or something, or virtual reality is the next thing. I don't know what it's going to be, but for 5 or 10 years, you can help a lot of people and make a bunch of money doing it. So why would you make it hard? Why would you swim against the current when you could swim with it? That's the way that I look at it right now. And if you specialize, and here's the other thing about specializing. My father-in-law is a cardiologist. He specializes in cardiology. Who do you guys think makes more as a practitioner? A general practitioner who works in the ER or just is a general doctor, or a neurosurgeon or cardiologist or heart surgeon? And why is that? Well, specialists cure a very specific problem. That's the same thing that we do. We're writing prescriptions for small business owners. That's the only difference. So that's the deal there, is if you guys can specialize in something, get good at it, work on your craft, and then get results for clients, everything becomes easier. You don't have to do 12 things. You can do 1 or 2 things, right? And just be known as the person who helps this specific type of business owner solve the problem of getting new business each and every month at a profit, right?
So, guys, let's do this. I'm going to speak to Rob after the call, and Walt, I'll make sure we address your question on the login. We'll look at the PayPal for those of you that wanted to do PayPal. We just need to edit the JVZoo product. And then what we'll do is I'll follow up with him on quantity I can sell on close date. We'll send a replay tomorrow, probably in the morning, you guys. And I'm not going to sit here and beat on you on, over the holiday. I'm going to send it tomorrow, and then we'll probably hit it to you later in the week. And just reach out to us, to me, or Vanessa, or one of our team. We'll help you with any questions you have. If you have login issues, feel free to reach out to our help desk, and we'll work with Rob and get it squared away. But what I'll do is I'll double check with Rob when we hang up and make sure everybody that bought got your credentials and stuff like that, so you're covered. Other than that, what are we missing that you're asking about? Give us something you're missing before. I think we're going to do 50 copies, but I need to speak to Rob. And you guys all talk to him, and I'll talk to him on a close date. Call it Sunday or Monday, but I just need to talk to him and see his schedule and all that jazz, and go from there.
And guys, don't worry about. I mean, I know this. You're probably freaking out if you just paid and like you can't get in. I will take care of you. I'll go over and above to make sure that happens. And it's not like, an employee of mine. I'll personally make sure it happens. Between me and Brian's team, we'll get you taken care of. So.
We'll get this resolved. Anybody who's having a login issue, I mean, it won't be very hard. We'll grab your emails out of JV Zoo and email you manually if need be. One way or another, we'll solve it in the next couple seconds.
Yep, we'll get you in.
And, so Brian asked a question. Let me grab a few of these, Rob, and then we'll wrap these up. There's some good ones in here. So Brian, I saw it. Where did it go? I can't. Okay. Here's one. I live in a rural area, Rob, so not as big as San Diego, Chuckle. Can you describe how I can do this or how I can market outside of my local area? Or do you even think, is that a good idea?
Yeah. I mean, most of our clients are outside of our local area. I don't meet with them in person. So it's totally virtual friendly. It doesn't, you could target gyms in my neighborhood if you wanted. It doesn't make a difference. I mean, you could just use your normal screencast software to have a virtual meeting, show them what you do, talk to them, make them a compelling offer. It's very simple. I did this gym because that one ended up being like a great one, but it was unexpected. I was just going down there to sign up, and they turned into a client. But you certainly don't have to do that. That's ridiculous. In fact, there's the plumber SEO.net guy. He does not have anybody. He's got like a ridiculous, like 7-figure a year business. I forget his name. It's like Josh Nelson or something like that.
Yeah, I know Josh. Yeah, he does have a sick. It's
so
absolutely.
His business is ridiculous. It's so awesome, so profitable. He does not have a single client in his area because he does not want to meet face-to-face with them because it's that much of a waste of time. So my philosophy is do whatever it takes to get the first case study for the niche that you're helping. And once that's done, and if that's local, fine. If that's remote, fine. If it's somebody in LA, fine. New York, fine. Miami, fine. Who cares? But just get that first one, get that first result, so that you can go use that virtually to target businesses that you want. The location has nothing to do with it, like proximity to you, meaning, and then go cherry pick the ones that are going to be great fits for you, not the other way around. And then target those people and stock those people. I mean, if you stock 5 people and you get one, and that one is a perfect fit, I mean, how many do you need at $1,000 to $2,500 a month to make your income goal? And when I first started doing this, my income goal was $10,000 a month, and so that's only 4 clients. I've blown past that now. It's almost like 30 a month. But that's the deal. Is like once you start to figure out like what works, the mechanics of the businesses that you help are much more important than the location or the proximity to you or any of this other garbage that we fill our heads with as marketers, right? So you can do it in a rural area. I just wouldn't focus on helping businesses in rural areas, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Good. A very honest, good answer. Dan Barnhart asked, what size businesses are most receptive? His concern is the $1,000 fee on top of the ad spend. He said, will you teach or train us on how to target the businesses that will be receptive, or maybe what to say so they are receptive?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, okay, so let's pick one out of Groupon or Living Social here, right? Let's see, dentist. We'll just pick one. Does anybody know what the average orthodontic package goes for?
Hold on, Rob, it gets better. We have a orthodontist on the call. That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. We can get the exact answer. Ask the question, and we'll get him to tell us right now.
Beauty.
He is asking questions about orthodontics as we speak. Dr. Michael, will you let us know the average kind of the orthodontics package? What does that run? I just did it, Rob, in my area. I have two kids with braces right now. One was 53 and one was 59 for me.
Jeez. Okay. So in this,
5,900, you guys. Yeah, 6K is what Dr. Michael Chris said.
okay, good. So even on Living Social, it says 2,500. So let's just say it's not 6K and it's 2,500. If you brought down one new client at $2,500 and your fee was $1,000 and they paid $500 in ad spend to get that, which they totally could,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they made that profit. And this is the thing, when they're getting 100 leads a month, we're seeing about a 10% close rate in health and fitness. So if they get 100 leads, they're closing 10, not one, they're closing 10 in that month. That's upfront cash. So, you know, I totally understand why you would feel hesitant if you're selling lower price services, but this has to be the one that you price much, much higher because there's just nothing better. Here's the other thing is when you're advertising in Facebook ads, look at all these competitors that are listed next to these people. Go into Google, look at all the competitors listed next to the business owners that you're helping in Google. When you go to Facebook, this ad shows up in your newsfeed. You know what's around this ad? It's not competitors. It's babies,
Right.
puppies, and funny videos. And,
That's, yeah, right?
and so
Hopefully no more political stuff, for God's sake.
well, yeah, that's the point is like, you know, if you can target your market and just get them to be laser focused on you and your offer, meaning like if you were a small business, like this is incredibly, and this is what happened. This ad was like one of the last ones that we were in, so you can't really see, but there was people tagging each other. There was like 50 comments on one of our ads of people tagging each other and sharing it like that. It's like nobody does that on Living Social and Groupon anymore. Nobody does that with direct mail. It's silly. They do it on Facebook though. And they do it on Instagram, that's for sure. So, you know, you have to understand the value. And beyond that, if they spend any money at all on branding, like direct mail, TV, radio, anything that's just like a pure branding play to stay top of mind, there's like 50,000 people that also saw this ad to become top of mind. And this particular client had people coming in off the street saying, I saw your Facebook ad, I want to take you up on the trial. They never opted in. They were just a fresh lead that walked in and just told them, I saw you on Facebook, I want to take you up on that offer. You know, so it's really killing two birds with one stone. They're getting exposure and branding and engagement, and they're getting the direct response right now, cash. So guys, you can't feel bad about charging what it's worth because it's worth way more than you probably think, and the business owners will realize that when they do this for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months.
Hey, Rob, let me do a quick sound check. Dan Barnhart said he lost sound. Anybody else? Can you guys hear us okay? Let me see. Nope, can't hear you, Ed. Yeah, oh, there was a glitch. It looks like it's back. May have been a glitch. Okay, Dan, hopefully you're back. David Perkins, okay, yeah, we talked about that. For everybody who's involved in voice drops, yeah, no, I'll work with Rob in a second, Arthur, on the PayPal thing, but we just got to do it when we end the call. We can address that. If you're involved in voice drops, what we'll do is I'll work with Rob on a script or two that'll work real well. Rob uses voice drops as well, so a lot of you guys are members, and you asked about kind of finding clients that maybe not in your local area. It's another way to drive results. Maybe we can do a little split test if you guys want to give us a couple niches, and we'll split test the scripts to drive calls. We're happy to help. Now, I'll have to hold this. Dee Dee, it's a really good question. Somebody else asked it, and I know I mentioned it to Rob before, but I never got an answer, and I don't want to put him on the spot. So let me answer it in email, Dee Dee, on the fulfill. Rob, a bunch of people are saying, what if we generate a bunch of work? And Dee Dee's not the only one. What if we generate a bunch of work? Can we do some kind of deal where your team fulfills and we do some kind of share, rev share, or fee split, etc.? A lot of people asking us.
I would say I would have to do that on a case-by-case basis, and you would have to complete the training because I'm going to show you how picky we are about the clients being qualified. Like, we only work with clients that have certain parameters now. right? Because we know what works with the ads and what doesn't. So if you guys get through the whole training and then you guys understand our niche really well, and then you still have like a honeypot of clients that fit those parameters, then it's possible. And I have to do it on a case by case. Otherwise, it's just, we'll get blasted with, all kinds of stuff. So, my team, you saw my team. There's 3 of us.
Yeah.
It's not like 500, people sitting around an office. So, I'm open to that stuff. I'm chill about it. But if I say no, don't be, it's not because I don't like you or I don't love you. I mean, trying to share as much as I can here. But guys, honestly, build the skill set yourself because it's so easy. Or if you guys know of outsourcers who are good at lead pages or ClickFunnels, just do the ads and then give them those parts. Like it's not that complicated from a tech point of view. But having said that, if you guys have an opportunity, think it's worthy of, having a conversation, just private message me after you go through the training and kind of get your head wrapped around what I'm teaching and how we do it. And if it still falls in line after that, just let me know and we'll see if it works.
Perfect. All right. Any question that I didn't ask Rob or that I missed? Yeah, Michael, of course, Dr. Michael, of course. And I got you covered either way on that, by the way. All right, yeah, on the membership access, I'll work with Rob as soon as we end the call and check it. Perkins, where is yours, man? Oh, do you simply advertise by zip code or area, Rob, or do you try to target age and other demographics?
We do other demographics, but they're not like super stringent. So like, let's just say, use the gym as an example. Like you want to do people like 22 to 50-ish because there's just not that many people who are over the age of, 50 or 60 who are actively looking for a gym, right? So that one makes sense. But we don't change the age range that much. Like it's typically that age range because that's when people have the most amount of buying power in their life, so it's just not that gnarly. The zip code has a lot to do with it because if people are going to come in to the place of business, then you don't want to go too wide for most small businesses. Sometimes you have to find out whether they have a specific interest in something like for a yoga studio, for example. It's easy to say we want women who make a certain amount of money because yoga is expensive, and then say they like yoga pants or, Lululemon or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. Or if they, like you're doing something that's interest-based specifically like, what's another women? Okay, so like there's these like events that, these like vintage trunk shows and stuff like that are super popular in San Diego, right? So if there's a few vintage websites and publications that women are into in their, baby boomer age range. But it's not that hard to figure out if you just sit down or go somewhere to a business and look around and go, all right, I don't see anybody above 50 here and I don't see anyone younger than 19. So, it's not rocket science. It's very, very straightforward most of the time. Like I would say 90% of the time, if you pick an easy Facebook ad client, you're gonna win. It's not that hard to sell chocolate. It's not that hard to sell ice cream. If you're selling a super complex purchase, that's way on the harder end. If you're selling candy at the candy store or jewelry, something that people already want, or, again, pain or pleasure, right? So if you've got, so let's use the cosmetic surgeon example. If you've got something that's non-surgical that can get them instant results, then you would target women who are not in their 20s probably, but more like 30 to 60, something like that. And they can do something like cool sculpting, which is like non-invasive liposuction, sort of.
Botox, cold sculpting, all those things.
Yeah, like, you just think about it. Like, David, your niche. I know you've been around longer than just a few minutes. So if you've been doing something with a client and you learned anything about them, and you can just go in and just use a little bit of common sense and test it. And then if it's not giving you the results, then you just go, okay, well, what's wrong here? But it's pretty easy, guys. The targeting is not what makes these things go in local. It's not. It's the crafting of the offer, the direct response offer, and motivating the person to do something about it after they take the offer up. So in the case of the gym, we have that video there, and that video is pretty awesome. It makes them want to get up and go into the gym and try it out, right? So it's way more about that than it is ad targeting. David, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
Hey guys, we got. What we'll do is we'll get this replay. I'll check. I'm going to read this from somebody who said, this is from Cy. For those on the fence, this is one of the best investments you can make in yourself to learn these skill sets. So good feedback from Cy Edge. Diane asks, Rob, when you do the live classes, what time of day do you do them? And I think she works during the day, so she can't participate during the day. But
So don't worry about that. You know, I know you guys have other things going on like I do, so I record them live, and if you can make it, that's great. But if you're not there for some reason, what I do is I post in the group, so you can ask questions later. So I'll just say, hey, this video is in the membership area, and so check it out if you weren't able to make it live, and they can just ask questions later. So you don't have to be there live. No problem.
Welcome to Ken Santucci, who is making the call live, right on time, almost. Yeah, Ken, we started at 7, so you are right on time. Let's see. All right. Yeah, Rafael, this is a good comment. I never thought about it this way, but it's a really good comment. This is lower than 1 credit hour in college, you know, what it would cost at a state college, and you get immediate ROI. I would agree on that, you guys, so for sure. Okay, so we'll look at the membership and make sure all of you guys have access. What we'll do is we'll just shoot you a little email, making sure you have it, and we'll double check the JV Zoo for the PayPal people. Let's see. What else? Yeah, we got you covered on that. We won't let you go. Okay, Dr. Christ is in, so yeah, you're good. What about car? Mel Johnson asked twice, and I missed it, about car dealers, Rob. I know you've worked with automotive before. What's your thoughts on car dealers with the offer?
Yeah, so car dealers are on the harder end. You know, I don't have a lot of experience. I helped one car dealership for like a few months. So I'm not the expert in that vertical. So I'll just preface the answer by saying that. You know, cars are things people want, but they also need a lot of education to get to the point of sale, which is not good for Facebook ads. It's a very complex, you know, situation. I think voice drops is a much better. So here's what you can use Facebook ads for: is retargeting. That's a great use for it. So somebody's already motivated to go into Google and find the site, and they get to the site and then they leave because they're distracted or they're researching 1,000 different car models. Then they go into log into Facebook, and the car manufacturer or the car dealership retargets them with the exact model that they were checking out, right? That would be very effective, but that's a retargeting strategy. It's not driving the sale itself, right, or the awareness. So you can use it for that. It's also good for branding. So if, you know, dealers are spending money on direct mail, again, Facebook ads is a great direct mail replacement strategy. So if a dealership is sending out, like I got a airbag safety recall direct mail piece, and the dealership did not pay for that. The dealer, like the manufacturer, paid for that, right? So if you used Facebook ads to do that instead, you could save them money and get them better exposure and be more targeted, right? That would be a great one. Or if they're having a sale or an event or something, or a lease, special lease they're running, you could do something like that. But it is harder. It's harder on the scale. I would say it's like medium to hard to get an ROI. That's a tougher one. It's like real estate. You know, those things they're bigger purchases. They're tougher to, you know, to get somebody to say yes on the first time they see it, right? So it's harder to show ROI. Whereas the gym membership, it's like percentage of these people are seeing it and going down there right now and doing it, right? So that one's just, it's a lot easier.
Oh, nice. All right, let's see.
And I teach you guys this stuff in the course. I think someone had mentioned that in here. Like I give you examples of like easy, medium, and hard ones. and I tell you what all the easy ones are and how to go into Groupon and find a good offer for you to approach. Like, you could literally just take a screenshot of one of these guys. Let's say you're like, I'm an orthodontist who specializes in marketing. Like, I don't know if Brian, who's the guy that said 6K? Who was the orthodontist in the group? Was that Michael? Michael, if you help
Dr. Michael Christ.
Yeah,
Christ,
so
I'm not sure, Mike. Thank you.
So what you could do is just grab this, just go to this page, and take a screenshot of this, and either mail it or email it to them. And I would also call and just say, look, I know you're running a 98% off orthodontic package, but I know that this stuff runs for 6K. How would you like to get some full price or closer to full price people coming in? You know, we could do an offer, but we don't have to do it 98%. Like, that's insane, right? So, you know, you can put a lot more profit in their pocket, but I would just screenshot this and just send them an email saying, like, how's this working out for you? Because I've got a better widget, right? I've got a better sprocket that I can sell to you. That'll get you better results. And, you know, instead of turning it on and on, or just getting blasted like this, the results I can get you are steady, month in, month out. We can target your customers every day, every week, every month, right? So that's a much better strategy than, you know, trying to blast a bunch of, you know, car dealerships saying like, hey, are you guys interested in Facebook ads? Right? Like, if I got a direct mail piece from a car dealership, I would take that direct mail piece and bring it to them and go, hey, you guys were marketing to me, but you wasted money because this wasn't like targeted to me, man. You know, did you know that there's a better way to do this that can save you money and get you better results? And I'll be like, what? Who are you? Where did you come from? Nobody talks like that, right? So, does that make sense? Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
David Hebert says, seems like a home run for LASIK surgery as well. Totally, because that's solving, that's preventing pain, right? People can't see, they go in, they get their eyes fixed. I had it done. It was awesome. I could see like the next 2 hours after I got it done. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I think I paid like $2,000 and it took 45 minutes. It was insane. And then Anna Ashmore says, in the class, do we get highlight report, how to make it integrate with tools in Zapier? Yep. I tell you how to do all that stuff. So what we do is we show you the big picture and mindset is actually super important with this, because I actually kind of have to teach you how to unlearn what you've probably been previously taught, and that's what Billy did for me. And then retrain you on what works so that you're saying the right things and positioning this well. Because if you screw that up, they're just going to think that you're a low-cost service provider, and that's not what we're selling here. And then I teach you how to do prospecting, sales, how to onboard a client even. This is where Betsy will help me. And this module 3 is like so crucial. We retain our clients at a ridiculous rate because she's so good at setting their expectations properly and letting them know where our work ends and where the client's work picks up. And ours, you know, basically where we leave off and they pick up. And also how to basically prove that our leads are putting money in their pocket each and every month. So we never have to really haggle over the cost of our service with the client. They just pay it every month. And then we teach you how to create a direct response offer, create the Facebook ad, create the funnel pages. And then over here in Module 7 is client reporting and retention, and that's where we talk about how to set up Zapier so that the leads get zapped straight to a spreadsheet. So, and that's one of the retention tactics that we have is when the client is looking at that spreadsheet every day and they just see leads constantly coming in, it's very hard for them to want to turn it off. They have to call us and say, this is painful. This is super, super painful. We hate money and we were burning it in the fireplace. We hate you, Rob, and you need to go away. You suck, which has never happened. But that's what they would have to do. And it's like ridiculous. It's like, so you're telling me that you want me to stop putting money in your pocket every month. That's what you're telling me, right? So, yes, we'll teach you how to do that. Our reporting, I'm going to tell you again, I'm an essentialist, so our reporting is not fancy. It doesn't look super sexy. But we have a few key metrics that we report on, and our clients are super happy with it. They don't want to be bothered with a bunch of, rocket space analysis either. They're busy. They just want to know if it's working or not, So, does that help? Anna? Anna Ashmore? I like that name. Anna Ashmore. Sean O'Brien. Is that S. O'Brien? S. O'Brien. I don't know why I thought, maybe I grew up with a guy named Sean O'Brien. He asked, or she asked, not sure which, what other tools are needed, ClickFunnels, etc. You need ClickFunnels or lead pages, or you can get your clients to pay for them, but you need your own account probably. Like most of our clients are on our lead pages account or our ClickFunnels account. And you need Zapier, free or paid subscriptions, like $10 a month unpaid and free on the free plan. You need a free Google Sheets account, Google Docs account. You need a payment processor if you don't already have that, or you can get them to just PayPal you, I guess, for payment. And that is it. You don't even need a website. Someone asked way earlier if you need a website. You do not need a website to do this.
Oh, that was a great. I missed that when I saw that question. Who was it? Tony Arnold, I think.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, you don't need anything. You don't even need a business card. Like, God, my website. You want to see my website? It's been the same for over 3 years. There's like lorem ipsum. Whoops, sorry. I just logged in my invoicing software. This webinar is full of holes. I hope it doesn't get blasted on like some crazy blog or something. There's like income statements, and you guys are getting the goods. So like this is my old agency website. You can see the agency in the background, the office space we used to have, and like I guess it's okay that it's up. Like there's something here. But Raleigh's my old business partner. He's not even with us anymore. He's a coder on Codeable. If you guys need a WordPress coder, he's phenomenal. He's not cheap, but he's incredible. Betsy is still with me. Jess is still with me. But, there's like lorem ipsum text right here. It just doesn't matter. I've never gotten a lead from here. I've never gotten anybody who said, your website was my buying decision. I don't even think anybody knows what I mean, it's just email, phone, and a couple of tools, and that's it. Super straightforward. I love it. I can walk into any business that's a good fit for me and in my head be like, I want to work with them or I don't, and I've got my laptop and my cell phone. I could walk into a place in Huntsville. If I wasn't so tired, I would go drum up business here in Huntsville, which is a much smaller market, and I could just walk into some place that fits my criteria and go in and talk to them, and I could probably walk out with them paying me some money, which is awesome. And yeah, Arthur Chrono says, or Optimize Press, you can use whatever the heck you want. Instapages, the tool doesn't matter. You just need some kind of landing page software that makes it easy for you to cookie cutter and stamp these things out.
No, I love it. Rob, all right, let's take, you guys, one more question. Let's call it. If we missed your question, let us know. I know Rob has taken every single one. I've tried to serve them up. He went through them one-on-one. If we missed your question, please let us know. And we will get a replay out for a bunch of people that joined late. Ken and Casey was in a snowstorm in Toronto, so definitely be safe. All right, I think we hit them all. Oh, Instagram. Tony, are you saying do we do ads on Instagram? Is that the question? Tony Arnold?
Yeah.
Yes. So you get it, right?
Yeah, totally. Instagram works, it's not quite there yet. It works sometimes, and we always test it, but there's something weird with the targeting system in Instagram. It will target people who are not your demographic at all sometimes. So we always just try the Instagram ads, but almost 90% of the time, women on a mobile device are like by far and away the winner from the ad targeting perspective on Facebook. And so it's like not even close. We end up pausing the rest of the campaign types, so just the way it is, guys. Women click on everything and they buy a lot. So, and they do it on Facebook. Does that help?
Well, guys, this is this has been a good call. I want to work with Rob for a second, and Anna, we'll follow up, and Walt, I'll double check your logons, you guys, with Rob, and we'll work on the PayPal option, you guys. If you missed the call, it was a tour de force of content. So don't come on looking for a lot of cool PowerPoint slides, but it was nonstop meat and phenomenal feedback from everybody. I think it was really well received. So I'm glad you guys attended, so many of you. And also, as a courtesy, I know a lot of people got on. I'm going to email everybody that was here the bonus. If you picked up the product and you were late, I'm going to send you the bonus as well. So there was a 3-part bonus for early attendees. So if you picked up the product, or if you were here before 8 o'clock, I'm going to email, or 7 o'clock, and I'll email it out to you in the morning so you guys have it as well. Thank you, guys. Sounds good.
Thank you all. I appreciate your time and your attention. It was fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you very much, Rob. I know you're with your in-laws. You got 5 minutes for me, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah,
man.
of course. Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds good, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great night. Okay, bye.